When the black sheep of the family finally walks away, the family will actually fall apart. For people that don't understand the spiritual contracts that we all signed before we came here, let me remind you, there is always one black sheep or one star seed or one chosen person in every family. Every family you see, there is actually a spiritual person or a chosen person, the black sheep. What happens is this: that person signed a contract to fix so much trauma and so many generational curses, to the point where if they feel like they can't fix the family no more, the family actually turns against them and become energy vampires. So the black sheep will leave the family and go on their own spiritual journey because they cannot heal and fix the generational curses. This is not really a bad thing when it comes to black sheep of the family, because sometimes you got to take your energy and put it back within yourself. There's nothing wrong with walking away and trying to find your real spiritual family. We have two families. We have a spiritual family and we have a physical family. A lot of times these spiritual contracts we sign is to heal other people generational curses. But a lot of times they become energy vampires and start to drain all your life force. You hear about shadow work, spirituality, grounding, demons, angels, aliens. We hear about all these spiritual events or all these contracts we sign. You might see someone that's an energy vampire, not knowing that's the contract they signed before they came here. Once we take our energy back within and we go back to the spiritual world and understand certain contracts we sign, you will be mind blown, because you could be trying to help someone that signed the spiritual contract to be an energy vampire. So why would a chosen person try to save a spiritual vampire? Understand these laws. When the black sheep walk away, the whole family crumbles because they never realized how special we really were.
How many black sheep we got in the family? It's always one or two. Sometimes I feel like I'm that.
We're definitely living in some strange times, because now the U.S. government has said to be revealing that they have been hiding real life 30-foot wide aliens. But they have said to reveal that they have real life 30-foot wide aliens. And they just dropped this information in a briefing that happened this week. And the aliens are particularly known as TARDIS, a species that appear in a number of sci-fi television shows and movies. And they said this 30-foot wide UFO is the size of a football field inside. They can manipulate space and time. It has the ability to harness the energy to power 70,000 homes. And all of this information is coming from a UFO whistleblower that was in the Air Force. And if y'all don't know, my boy David been dropping bombs on the UAP since they first started disclosing. Yeah, y'all remember back in June when they had that Congress hearing about the UFOs? Yeah, my boy David was the one to testify in that hearing. He said they had to get a bulldozer to dig this massive craft out. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this video in the comments. Like and follow for more wisdom.
Is it walking or is it just standing there? Because the waves can make it look a little bit tricky. Or is it just sitting there? It could be like a post or something.
Here are some morbid facts about Bob Marley. In 1976, 7 armed men broke into Bob Marley's home and attempted to assassinate him. Bob was shot in the chest and the arm but managed to survive. His wife Rita was shot in the head but also survived thanks to her thick dreadlocks slowing down the bullet. Just 2 days later, Bob would perform a 90-minute set with the Wailers at the Smile Jamaica concert. In their earlier years, Bob Marley and the Wailers would often rehearse late at night at the local cemetery. This was because their manager convinced them that if they could conquer their fear of spirits, they could conquer their stage fright in front of crowds. In 1977, Bob Marley was diagnosed with skin cancer under his toenail that had a 90% survival rate. He was told that simply amputating his toe would stop the spread. but he refused since his Rastafarian religion saw surgery as a sin. After 4 years of no treatment, the cancer had spread to his brain and lungs. This was the last known photo taken of Marley before he would succumb to cancer at the young age of 36. His last words to his son Ziggy were, "Money can't buy life."
I thought this dude got inheritance, and look at one of the items he got. It's a little miniature leprechaun, allegedly with human skin.
Well, we got creepy peep out there. They could have put that skin on there themselves.
A mummified leprechaun.
But it does look creepy. I wouldn't be touching it if it had human skin with his bare hands. He nasty.
Never seen anything like this before in my life. This is a mummified leprechaun. And it looks absolutely awesome.
I would have been viewing that from afar.
And it said it could be human skin suit. Which is a wow.
Wash his hands. I bet you don't wash his hands after.
Down there. Then I'm gonna get this one, which is a banshee. Which looks pretty awesome. Now these are well over 100 years old. So, who the hell leaves you these? There's bottle of coins, silver coins, never opened. So, everybody can tell me about that. A lot of bottles.
Look like some witchcraft stuff. I definitely wouldn't be touching
My
that.
nana was into witchcraft, so if anybody knows what these mean or what it's about,
And he's just fumbling all
please
around.
let us know.
Is there a connection with ancient biblical prophecy and the mark of the beast and cutting-edge technology Neuralink by Elon Musk? This video is going to blow your mind. Neuralink is a brain-computer interface installed in the brain. It's a modern marvel of technology, but what if I were to tell you there could be a biblical twist to this innovation? In the book of Revelation, the Bible's clear that the mark of the beast is foretold as a way to control the buying and selling. Now imagine a world where Neuralink became the mark of the beast. Remember, the largest computer system is located in Brussels, Belgium, and what is it called? The Beast. So Elon Musk's Neuralink recently completed its first clinical trial. It's a leap into the future, but are there hidden agendas lurking beneath the surface? Everything is hidden, but in plain sight. Imagine being faced with the choice one day to deny your faith in Jesus Christ and willingly take the mark of the beast, or stand strong with your beliefs, possibly become a martyr, and be completely against the Antichrist system. Would you compromise your beliefs for convenience? So as we inch closer to a world where technology blurs the lines of morality, could this innovation have a darker side? It's time to question, reflect, and be aware. What does the Bible say? The Bible says we have the mind of Christ. So if you install an interlink into your brain connecting you to the beast, to the world's computer system, would you still have the mind of Christ? So, as technology advances and the mark of the beast looms as a possibility, ask yourself what matters more, faith and allegiance to Jesus Christ or convenience? I want you to drop your thoughts below and let me know what you think on this issue. And before we finish, if you had to take the mark, would you? Share your views and remember, knowledge is power. Click follow.
Hey, that's up to one's perspective. Is it technology that can advance humanity? Yes. Is it technology that can correlate to that mark? Yes. But in the past years, there's been a lot of marks that could have been.
Moon is an implant, and part of the moon's function interdimensionally is to create a false light trap upon our death. This is what some people refer to as the PacMan Light. Our souls are eaten by the light, just like Pac-Man eating the dots. Saturn is aiding in this process, and funny enough, we're told 2 of Saturn's moons has a heat signature representing Pac-Man. This is intentional and being rubbed in our faces. So our souls are locked in a dimension of control on this. A false afterlife is merely a short break before being recycled back into this matrix. Before I continue, I'm not saying this is all doom and gloom. We have limitless divine strength to get out of this matrix, but the true light from which all source energy pours out through has been hidden from us. The Tibetan Book of the Dead is an instruction manual on how to navigate the planes of the afterlife. It says, "Be not fond of the dull smoke-colored light from hell. Remember the clear light, the pure, clear white light from which everything in the universe comes, to which everything in the universe returns, the original nature of your own mind." So the true light does exist, but has been covered up by the false light. Many people don't even recognize that they're infinite souls with infinite creative abilities, so upon death they're still attached to the physical realm and seek comfort in any signs that point to familiarity. Family members and friends are often seen by the light to help lure you in. These aren't real though. The fact that a formless soul would remain in its physical form after death makes no sense. These are archons, or false light beings, making themselves into forms that you recognize. The Near-Death Experience Research Foundation is the largest collection of near-death experiences on the internet. Do some investigating yourself. You'll find that overwhelmingly people state that they were drawn to the light or pulled to the light. There is some type of pulling action going on, and for the majority of people it seems they have little control over it. Many people find themselves going toward or being pulled into the tunnel like a magnet, so I speculate this light trap has gotten more and more powerful and efficient since the Tibetan Book of the Dead was written. Upon entering this light, we receive a life review and are told by false light beings posing as our rulers that we must reincarnate to Earth to rework karma. This is 100% bullshit. We need to get back to source, back to our original bodies, and not stuck in this cycle of death and reincarnation. We're told there's a soul agreement or mission that we must fulfill on this physical plane. Why do these beings want us recycled? So we can remain energetic food for them. Archonic beings and reptilians who run this matrix need us. The Archons survive off of our negative thought forms, and the reptilians survive off of our blood and our children's blood. John Grace, an ex-CIA operative, wrote under the name Val Valerian in a series of books called Matrix. His material has a lot of truth in it, but it's also mixed with lies, like all disinformation activists. He does reveal, however, the afterlife's tricks as required by the laws of lesser magic. In Matrix 5, Valerian writes, they want to recycle spirits into another productive incarnation, hence the light and tunnel at death trap. Scanning someone they wish to recycle as they near death, they discover who the person was close to has died. They project the person's image in the white light tunnel, and the image waves you in deeper. If you choose to follow, you can be trapped and sent to another incarnation of their choice. Hidden in plain sight is another name for lesser magic. The laws of lesser magic entailed that the evil acts done on this plane can be balanced out as long as the truth has been shown to us via riddles, media, symbols, and more. The DreamWorks logo sequence shows a boy sitting on the moon fishing in the water. The moon has nothing to do with the works of dreams. This boy is fishing for souls. We're told through many movies not to go into the light.
Listen to me! Do not go into the light! Stop where you are! Turn away from it! Don't even look at it!
Blue flower, red thorns. Don't die, Shrek. And if you see a long tunnel, stay away from the light!
No! Hurry, no! Don't look at the light!
I can't help it. It's so beautiful!
What is it?
It's so pretty.
I'm feeling happy, which is a big deal for me.
I want to touch it. Oh.
Hey, come back. Come on back here.
I'm gonna get you.
I wanna get you.
I'm gonna get you.
I'm gonna swim with you.
I'm gonna get you.
I'm gonna be your best friend. good feeling's gone.
That light, the end of the tunnel, guess what? That's not heaven.
In the Lego movie, Cloud Cuckoo Land is said to have no negativity and no unhappiness, just like many near-death experiences discussed in The Light. This is all energetic manipulation. In the background we see the all-seeing eye, and all throughout Cloud Cuckoo Land there are lights that are mesmerizing and many spinning wheels like used in hypnosis. It's revealed that the unicorn is hiding all of the negativity with a positive demeanor. This represents that the false afterlife is meant to trick us. It's malevolent at its core, but hidden within false love. In the 2005 movie The Island, before their birth on Earth, clones are created in pods and programmed via light and hypnotic suggestion that they are special and have been chosen to go into the island, which is powered by a holographic grid. You're special. You have a very special purpose in life. You've been chosen. The island awaits you. This is akin to the many near-death experiences where the...
Apparently Adam and Eve weren't the first humans on Earth. Check it out.
Adam and Eve weren't the only two people on Earth. When they got here, there were already probably hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people already here. And then what happens is, if you take two people and you think you're going to get 8 billion out of two, it doesn't work. What happens if you start having with your sister, and then she gives birth, and then those babies have to each other? You're going to have genetic mutations, and by the third generation, they won't even be able to, they'll be dead, they'll be stillbirths. Not enough genetic diversity. So they created Eden, E-D-I-N. And Enki, he was known as Satan, the Lord of Eden in the text. And he would watch over this Eden. He had guards with weapons to guard why would you have to guard this place with weapons? And he had people in there, and he was having mating times. They have specific times that they can mate and couldn't mate. And it was like breeding people. And they were working on perfecting it. When Enki came and told Adam and Eve who they were and how powerful they were and that they were the same level as them, that's when they realized that they weren't dumb. That was the apple. The apple was knowledge. And then Lil comes back and gets pissed off because he discovered what happens. And then he starts calling his brother the devil. You don't listen to him, he's evil.
I don't know about a lot of that, but some of that makes sense. It seemed like it would be some disformities taking place.
If I told you that life does actually get shorter as you grow up, this is absolutely insane. It will really blow your mind. As you grow up, it feels like time gets so much faster, doesn't it? I'm sure you can agree on that, and that is thanks to this. Now, this is going to shock a lot of you, but we actually experience 70% of our lives by the time we're 21. You're probably thinking, hang on a minute, but what if you live to 100? Stick with me. Because what might change your opinion is, what if I told you we actually spend 50% of our lives by the time we're 5 years old? How does that make any sense? Well, you don't actually start building stable memories until you are about 5 years old, so anything before that is essentially just non-existent. Now, as you age, each year becomes a smaller percentage of how much life you've actually lived. For example, when you're 50, that year is just 2% of your entire life. But when you're about 10 years old, that 2% would have been 3-4 months of your life. And it's true, people say when they get to about 20 or 30, life just starts going at a rapid pace. And I mean, even a 6-week school holidays would feel like you've been off for ages, but now 6 weeks flies by. And every year now it just seems like the years are going quicker and quicker and quicker. At the end of every year, the comments on people's posts are always, oh my god, this year's just gone crazily quick. That's because you've grown up, because little kids won't be saying the same thing.
I always said the older I get, it feel like the time was flying. It feel like things are moving quicker. The days are quick, the months are quicker, and the years are quickest.
Solution to a bee sting is a copper penny. You can take a copper penny, place it on the bee sting, and it'll actually heal the bee sting. There was a Russian scientist who took beetle wings and he laid them all down, and he could make himself levitate by his device because he understood that the shapes or the fractals coming from the beetle wings would allow for levitation. Because when you look at a beetle and you look at their wings, the wings don't match their body, and the frequency or fractals emitted from the wings would allow the beetle to levitate, similar to the bumblebee. The bumblebee also levitates, and the bumblebee produces electricity. This is an interesting one too. Bumblebees, wasps, scorpions, they all produce electricity. When they sting you, they are stinging you with electricity. That's why people swell up. You know, they get like a balloon. Bees are the perfect one because you can hear it. That's electricity being created by the bumblebee. It's almost like one static field generator that's just floating around, producing electricity. And then when you get a whole bunch of bees together, you have a whole hive of electricity.
As above, so below. You have spiritual wars that have manifested into physical wars. And that's why Earth is the way it is now. Because there have been spiritual things happening behind the scenes that are now playing out in our physical plane. And this is where the whole extraterrestrial, alien, different dimensional creatures come into play. And the reason why we have extraterrestrials or higher dimensional beings that watch over this planetary system is because this government and the entities that have infiltrated this planetary system, they have their own government. They're the ones that cause these physical wars to happen, and they're the ones that caused Earth to be where it's at right now. The bad extraterrestrials, I'm gonna say that. Yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this video. I appreciate you watching it all the way to the end. Crystal jewelry is available on my website. The link is in my bio. I love y'all.
Something is definitely out there, but the question is, what's the wait? What y'all think? Let me know in the comments.
Here are the after effects after the storm, you guys. That window looked like it was melted. It looked like it was melted, y'all. That's crazy.
Imagine getting
oh my
hit by
goodness, you
hellball.
guys. That water is just 2024 is not letting up, y'all. Is this what they mean by pedal to the metal? Or is it metal to the pedal? Literally flooding everywhere, y'all. Ice mixed with snow, with water.
A big slushy.
Oh wow, that's crazy, you guys.
7-Eleven Slurpee.
What a time to be alive, to experience all this change. Saudi Arabia has got to be the top place that the weather changed so frequently like this, y'all, because this is crazy. I was just showing y'all how it was green, then it was snowing, then they had locusts, now flooding, hailstorm. Like, this is crazy. They literally experience everything, y'all. This is nature. Nature is taking the planet back, you guys. We all knew something big was coming. Now something big is here, and that big thing is cleaning up the planet. It's reclaiming the planet back, and that is nature. The only thing that is constant in the universe is change. So we knew this was coming. Let me know what you guys think about this video. This video is strictly for entertainment purposes only. I'm only raising awareness to interesting situations during these interesting times.
A legitimate cure for cancer is now closer than ever, according to Vladimir Putin. Via Reuters, Putin announced Wednesday at a Moscow Forum for Future Technologies that Russian scientists are very close to developing cancer vaccines that may soon be available to patients. Putin was quoted saying, "We have come very close to the creation of so-called cancer vaccines and immunomodulatory drugs of a new generation. I hope that soon they will be effectively used as methods of individual therapy." Putin didn't specify which types of cancer the proposed vaccines would target, nor how. This news comes just days after it was announced that scientists found cancer-resistant wolves at the Chernobyl exclusion zone. Their genomes have apparently evolved rather quickly to combat the cancer-causing effects of Chernobyl's radiation. Research has shown that many of these wolves have altered immune systems that are similar to cancer patients undergoing radiation therapy. It's unclear if these two events are related, but both offer a glimmer of optimism in regards to future cancer treatments.
TR3B black manta is reported as having a triangular shape and dark color, typically observed at night, described as large, silent, hovering slowly, and displaying pulsating and colored lights. It is rumored to have been developed from secret research seized from the Nazis after World War II. It is believed that to be capable of high G-turns, undetectable on radar, the TR3B uses an engine system that seems akin to anti-gravity magic, using highly pressurized mercury accelerated by nuclear energy. The plasma created by this process forms an anti-gravity field around the craft. The core of the propulsion system is an electromagnetic coil that interacts with the Higgs boson field at the quantum level. It doesn't utilize traditional turbine or rocket engines, but generates thrust through high-energy plasma. Allegations of the TR3B's existence have swirled for years, with reports of sightings and even a crash in England in 1994. A series of U.S. patents related to anti-gravity technology describe a triangle-shaped craft using an inertia mass reduction device further fueled speculation. The Belgian UFO wave between late 1989 and 1990 stands as one of the most well-documented and extraordinary events in modern UFO history.
These objects kept coming back to Belgium month after month after month. What most people were seeing was a triangular-shaped craft with a red light in the middle and a bright white light on either of the three corners of the triangle.
The wave reached its climax on March 3, 1990.
Large numbers of people in Belgium and also northwestern Germany saw mystifying objects zipping around the skies.
The Belgian military was forced to engage, scrambling 2 F-16 jets after the objects were picked up on radar.
There's a Belgian captain that was on a patrol. He sees this massive triangle shape hovering in the sky, and he immediately calls military headquarters. Well, meanwhile, local and civilian radar is picking up these gigantic objects. NATO is too.
The jets observed erratic behaviors,
Something jumping huge distances in the blink of an eye.
extraordinary acceleration, and the ability to drop altitude by 4,000 feet within a second.
That's nearly a mile in just 1 second. Pretty extraordinary.
What happened next was a cat and mouse type chase. The 2 F-16 pilots would get the UFO on their radar. As soon as they did, it would disappear. It happened twice. After an hour-long chase, the UFO was lost over the city of Brussels.
The craft's technical capabilities were unlike anything seen before, displaying an incredible range of speed and maneuverability.
It showed the ability to go at very, very slow speeds, slower than any kind of aircraft stall speed. Shouldn't be able to go that slow. And then to have speeds that were comparable to an F-15, F-16 or faster.
The event led to a formal investigation by the Belgian government. Colonel Dubrow was tasked with managing the Air Force investigation, seeking explanations from other NATO countries, including the U.S., to determine if the objects were experimental aircraft. Many suspected that the TR-3B was the craft seen in the Belgian wave. This craft, costing $3 billion to create, was said to have the ability to cloak itself and manipulate radar. Despite the U.S. government's denial of any knowledge of these triangular objects, thousands of eyewitnesses around the world have reported seeing these black triangles.
The interesting thing about the TR-3B is how similar it looks to the Belgian sighting.
There's rumors has been around since the 1990s.
It's my personal assessment that 95% of what people are reporting are in point of fact our own deep black programs.
The Belgian UFO wave raises critical questions about the nature of these sightings. Are they of extraterrestrial origin, or could they be top-secret U.S. aircraft?
They over here dancing. What is that?
There are people who talk about an uber consciousness, even the possibility that what we're talking about here, Chris, is what we call God. I mean, really, when you think about it, when you look at the ancient religions, Christianity, Buddhism, Islam, what they're all describing is a super intelligence, a higher intelligence that's hopefully benevolently inclined towards humanity, which guides us and protects us. But is it possible that, yes, maybe there's a huge supercomputer that was created tens of billions of years ago that is self-generating, that has essentially created life, that tinkers with us and tinkers with other life all around the universe? I mean, is it incomprehensible that what we think of as God or some kind of uber consciousness is not some artificially generated consciousness? And isn't it inevitable, frankly, that human beings, as we reach the limits of our brains, that we'll essentially transition eventually to technology ourselves and maybe transfer all of our spirit, soul onto some kind of computer? I don't think it's inconceivable that that's what we're dealing with.
If you take a step back, it do kind of look like a circuit board, and we are made of energy. I'm getting dizzy.
These images are going around the internet, and we're being told they're secret photos from Antarctica. Now, I don't know if they are or not, but after I show you these, I'll tell you something I think about what's going on in Antarctica.
Y'all think they touched up? CGI or something? Photoshop? Never know, man. We ain't never been down there. But one thing I know, it ain't just nothing down there, I can tell you that. Especially with us finding artifacts in every other continent, why wouldn't it be no artifacts on Antarctica? Maybe they found the biggest of them all down there, that's why they won't allow us there.
Like I said, those pictures look really convincing, but I'm not sure if they're actually from Antarctica or not, because we're not being told what goes on down there. Now they might be, or they might not be. You could find a lot of strange pictures that we're told are from Antarctica. But because the world's governments are keeping that area a secret, who knows for sure? Okay, Booshkis, I'm just showing the pictures. You decide for yourself. Shabadoo!
This man spent 19 years trying to prove that he wasn't dead. In 1975, Indian farmer Lal Bahari was visiting a revenue office in Uttar Pradesh to get proof of identity for a business loan. But during the visit, he learned that he was officially designated as deceased. Sometime before this, his uncle apparently bribed an official to list Bahari as dead, so that he would gain ownership of Bahari's ancestral land, which measured less than an acre. Over the years, Bahari tried to attract attention to his situation by various means to try to prove that he was actually alive. He tried to organize his own funeral, tried to get arrested, and even ran for office. In 1980, he added the word dead to his name and signed letters as late Lal Bahari. In 1994, he finally managed to have his official death annulled after a 20-year legal struggle. He has since founded the Uttar Pradesh Association of Dead People, which now has over 20,000 living members who are all recognized as dead people.
Wow.
We're living on the CD. It's a non-moving flat disc with an exit hole in the middle, where all compasses point north, the magnetic north, which is actually the south. All magnets point south because it's pointing inward to the center of the flat Earth plane, but it's called the North Pole. And there's a dome above, and the sun and moon are inside the dome, spiraling around, creating the seasons, spiraling inwards and outwards. Now on the CD, it looks like a circuit board. We've got roads that look like circuits, and all the cars and people traveling on the roads and sidewalks look like the energy traveling around a circuit board. Because we are on a circuit board, we are a computer simulation. Now in the center of the CD is the Aurora Borealis. It comes spiraling out of the center hole, the womb of the earth, the womb of the mother goddess. So the sun spirals round and round, creating the seasons, and it injects its menstrual blood into the holy hole, the womb of the earth, and it hits the black hole sun on the bottom of the disc. On the bottom of the disc, it's like a division symbol. Up above is the sun above, and below is the sun, the black hole sun below. That's the land of twilight. It's always twilight down there. It's the land of everlasting life. And it's our real world. This is the dream world. Now, when the light injects, the sun injects its light into the hole, the womb of the earth, it hits the black hole sun, and out comes, spiraling out comes the Aurora Borealis. The Aurora Borealis spreads across the whole earth and comes trickling down and creates our computer simulation. We are a computer simulation. This is the dream world, just like in the Matrix movies. It's trickling down of the Aurora Borealis is what we're experiencing right now. It's our consciousness. This is our dream body created by the Aurora Borealis. Now everything projected up there, the stars and that, is all projected by the Aurora Borealis. to get to the center of the flat Earth plane before we're dead, or we're just going to be recycled by the moon. Now, the moon, the light of the moon is actually a light. It's lit up by the souls, all the dead souls that have died in that month. The light of the moon is your souls. It's not reflected light off the sun. It creates its own light. It's the fisherman of souls. It's the PacMan moon eating up all the souls that have died in that month and lighting up the moon. So somehow it traps the souls and then it reinserts the souls back into this matrix, into new bodies, and you're recycled over and over again. Your memories are erased and you're reinserted back into a new body to experience this matrix again, over and over again, and you don't know what hit you because your memories are erased, and you grow up an infant, so you don't know anything. You're just a newborn. So you have to learn everything over again. To avoid that, we have to get to the center of the flat Earth plane where compasses point to. The red needle on your compass is pointing to the Holy Grail right now. And that's where we got to get to drink from the eternal waters. The needle is pointing to the fountain of youth. We drink from there, we become superhuman. We awake from our real bodies. And you're not going anywhere unless you prove your intent by writing on a piece of paper, I intend to bring forth heaven on earth, because you won't be crossing the frost bridge to get to the Garden of Eden, because you won't make it across the frost bridge. Somehow it's being guarded. Either you're going to fall off to your death, or they just won't let you in. Who exactly, we don't know. We won't know until we get there.
Oh, whoa.
So you have to prove your intent by spilling your blood on a piece of paper after you've written out and you've filmed yourself writing out, I intend to bring forth heaven on earth. Put a few drops of blood on it and upload it to YouTube for all to see. This will prove your intent, because they just don't let anybody in there. So paradise is at the center of the flat Earth plane. We gotta get there before we're dead. We gotta wake up from this dream.
Are all screwed. Technology. Get away from any violence. Get rid of it. Genuine warning. By simply knowing this information could ruin the whole course of your life. And I'm not even just saying that. So this is a theory, hypothesis, whatever you want to call it, and it is known as Roos Basilic. So as I'm sure you know, AI and tech is getting even more advanced by the day, right? It's pretty scary. Like, you've got Neuralink now implanting chips in people's heads where you're going to be able to like watch what? And even the Apple Vision Pro, people just walking around the streets, no care in the world, with these flipping things on their heads. But of course, like I say, look at AI 5-10 years ago to how it is today. It's come on extremely far. Think about how advanced AI is going to be 10, 15, 20, 30, 40 years in the future from now, if we're still going, because we might get nuked. So if we get nuked, yeah, it could be so advanced we could have headsets like the Apple Vision where we think we're living reality but we're just in a game. It could happen. But on top of that, there's probably going to be robots that are going to try and take over, and there's going to be, like there are robotics now which are so far advanced it is scary. They apparently literally have feelings now. The first one actually developed feelings a while ago. The theory is that tech is going to get so advanced, AI, robotics is going to get so advanced that eventually it's going to have feelings, want to rebel and want to take over Earth. Which, I mean, fair enough guys, like they're being oppressed enough. But as the theory suggests, AI is going to want to punish anyone who didn't directly help with the invention of their technology and their family. So yeah, of course, I'm not helping with the invention of AI, guys, so I drive an electric car and that, but don't think I'm going to be having a baby with one. So yeah, I think we're all going down together, boys. But hit that follow button and I'll see you in the next one.
Brutal.
I'm finna show you how these low vibrating entities can body hop. I need y'all to pay very close attention. As y'all see this shadow or this entity jumps into his body and he even reacts. Yeah, y'all know how like out of nowhere y'all just feel very strange? Or you just feel a wave of low vibrating energy? Let's look at this once again. Do y'all see that? He even reacts off of it. This is the exact reason why you have to stay prayed up. You have to have spiritual protection. Because these entities is out here whether you want to believe it or not. Once again, look at that. And y'all should already know by now that we're constantly under spiritual warfare. And we also know that we wrestle not against flesh and blood. So if you have any sudden mood changes, you might just got body hopped. And just because you can't see it with your physical eyes, that don't mean that it don't exist. But y'all, let me know what y'all think about these entities body hopping in the comments. Like and follow for more wisdom.
Put yourself in that position. You just strolling along and something that just hit you like that. Dude kept walking like nothing happened, so I'm calling Cap.
Time runs slower the faster you're moving. And that's not just a vibe, it's a fact of our universe. So much so that even radioactive things decay slower at higher speeds. This bizarre feature of our universe is called time dilation, and it's been known about since 1905. We can thank Ali E for that one. But in 1962, two physicists, David Frisch and James Smith, proved this in an experiment captured on video. Their radioactive clock of choice was the muon, which is a subatomic particle like an electron, except it's much heavier and it undergoes radioactive decay. Unfortunately, at the time, they didn't actually know how long it took for a muon to decay when it's not moving, so they needed to measure that first. Fortunately, muons pass through the atmosphere all the time, so all they had to do was slow them down and then count how long it took for them to decay. After accumulating data for several hours and observing thousands of decays, they found that the average decay time was 2.2 microseconds. Next, they drove up Mount Washington, which is about 2,000 meters in elevation, and started counting muon detections streaming in from the upper atmosphere. In order to obtain clean data, they used a huge block of iron to filter out all the muons that were traveling slower than 0.995 C or faster than 0.9954 C. What they found is that at that elevation, about 563 muons per hour were detected in that speed range. They then took the exact same apparatus, with some details I'm leaving out, and brought it down to sea level to measure the same thing. There, they measured 408 muons per hour in that speed range. So the question is, what does all this mean? Well, if we neglect time dilation, the muons would have had to exist for another 6.4 microseconds while traveling from the mountaintop to sea level. And if the decay lifetime is 2.2 microseconds, you can calculate that they should have only seen around 27 muons. On the other hand, special relativity says that the clocks on the muons should run slow, meaning that they should actually take longer to decay from our perspective. Given the speed they were traveling at, relativity predicts that they should decay about 10 times slower. So if we look at the plot at 0.64 microseconds, we would expect to see just over 400 muons at sea level. And we do. Chalk that up as another win for Einstein. Now there's a lot more that actually went into this experiment to account for confounding factors, but I'm not going to go into those details. Suffice it to say, they were very careful. I don't know about you, but I think it's awesome when we can demonstrate that what appears to be highly theoretical physics actually happens in our universe.
Exorcist. I don't know, it's moving pretty stiff.
This is light.